What's up, everybody? Today we are doing cooking with Scruf 3. It's going to be a beef stew. I'll show you one of the ways I make it and let you know the alternatives to make it yourself. So let's get right into it. Alright, so your best bet really is to find a big chunk of meat, or you can get the pre-sliced like beef stew stuff as well, which is basically just yesterday's meat. They chop it up, they put it out, or it's stuff that didn't really fit with what they were making. I got lucky. This was on sale. It says $12.94, but it was like another 20% off, so I got a big hunk of meat for reasonable price. Obviously, before you begin, clean your work area, clean your hands, yada yada. So since I got the pre-sliced, or the non-pre-sliced stuff, we're going to go ahead and chop it up real quick. Or you can put the whole thing in just like this. It's up to you. Yeah, at that point, it's really, with me, a beef roast and a beef stew is pretty much the same recipe. It's just, do I leave this in one piece or not? So let's just, you don't need to be anything particular, nothing special. Yeah, maybe inch chunks. Let's go ahead and like stake it out, I guess we'll say. And this will also give you a chance, if you want to cut away some of the fat, you can do that, but I usually don't bother because that just turns into juice. Especially when you're slow cooking, most of the fat just literally just kind of melts away. So just slop that into at about inch and a half chunks. Yeah. Where's the camera? There it is. Alright, let's just run through these real quick. Like I said, you don't need anything special. Just close enough. And this, we're going to end up cooking, since we're doing smaller cubes and not like a whole roast, we'll end up cooking it probably about 6 to 8 hours. You start off on high, get everything nice and warmed up, and then flip it over to low after, like, pretty much once you start seeing the water boiling. And we'll go over all that again. I'm just making sure we're not just sitting here silently staring at the steak. I did hit 1,000 subscribers last night. I guess we can talk about that. Which you will probably have figured out, because by the time this video hits public, it will have, most likely have monetization on it. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Because YouTube apparently just switched that they will decide for you and me what is best for you as far as commercials. Or I just wanted to run banner ads so they weren't so annoying, but apparently you can't do that anymore. Alright, so I got the beef in first. I like to put that on the bottom, make sure it cooks. Next thing I like to drop in is potatoes. I like red potatoes. These are actually really big for red potatoes. Like, they're almost as big as a baking potato. So I do 2 or 3 of these. Same thing. I mean, you're looking at almost the same size chunks, realistically. Just something big. I mean, you figure once this stuff is done, it's going to be so soft you'll be able to cut it with your fork. So it doesn't matter if it's like super big chunks or whatever. Try not to cut your fingers off. And yeah, I know I'm sure there's some way better way to cut these, but you know what? This way works too. So again, do thank everybody who has subscribed or joined as one of the goofball members. If you don't know what that is, it's the little channel membership where I put out a bunch of videos, a lot of work stuff. Yeah, we'll put this other one in there. Forklift stuff. A lot of the stuff you see on a public channel, I just put more out on the members channel, and some of the member stuff will never see the public side. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but some of it's just, you like to keep it back there. As far as, like I said, with the meat, it's whatever meat. Yeah, if you get like a roast or even just an old steak, you know, discount steak, whatever. A little more. And I love red onions. I will eat an onion like an apple. Let's see. These I usually chunk out pretty big. A lot of times I'll save this outside layer and do kind of a brothy thing with it. Even if it's just a little bit of stuff, if you're just making like a single serving of broth, putting that in the in there before you actually make your soup. It'll get the flavor without all the weirdness of the onion. Like for these, I like, you know, pretty big chunks. Like you don't really need. Again, pretty much close to 1 inch by 1 inch. Ah, these are strong. And these cook down, so don't worry about there being a bunch in there. Or if you don't like onions, you know, maybe something else. You can stick garlic in there if you have any fresh garlic. I don't happen to have any with me. Which is one reason why my recipe changes all the time, because I just kind of cook, you know, when it comes to me. This, I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to save some of it for sandwiches. So we'll put this right there, put that over there. Save the broth cover. Even like if you boil, like if you use a pot to boil your water for like a cup of noodles, or if you want to use, then this would be great to put in there while you're boiling it to add that flavor. I don't really think that's a very common way to make a couple noodles anymore, is it? Let me get this tear fluid off of my hands here. Wash up. That is strong stuff. I gotta take my glasses off. Alright, let's clean this up a little bit. In case you haven't figured it out, we are not a professional studio. We are just here to have some fun. So that is what we're going to do. As soon as I wipe the tears out of my eyes. Good God. Alright. Whew. Alright, and you can get big carrots, little carrots. I like baby carrots because then I just dump them in. I'm going to save some for a snack for later. Alright. Move over there. Bring this up here. So now here's your crock pot. These, they're relatively cheap. If you want to get one, if you've never had one, and they're awesome for cooking because they just cook things really slow, pretty evenly. You know, you just stir it every couple hours or every hour, depending on what you're making or if it's on high or low. They're really good. I love making food in them, especially meats, soups, anything like that. Put a beef roast in there. You cook it overnight. Oh, it is lovely. All right, now. We all know that making everything from scratch is like the way to do it, but you know what? Like, it's really not. You can get away with making good food. You know, maybe it's not 100% like scratch, but man, you can get like 95, 98%, whatever, you know what I mean? So what I like to do when I make stew or roast is I get one of these. Just a generic beef stew pack. And I add one of these. Actual soup mix, you know, something like that. When you can add gravy seasoning in there, which actually what I'll do is, because when I put the seasoning in there, oh, sorry, I already had one. I'm gonna put the seasoning in first. Just sprinkle it around. Doo-doo-doo. And then I'll go ahead and this will generate its own water. That's really the only thing you have to watch out for. But, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in over here. Drop that. Alright. And most of these will have, most of these will have off, keep warm, low, and high. High is basically boiling, low is kind of boily, but not really too much. That's more of like a simmer. And then keep warm is, you know, time to serve, as it were. So, with that soup mix in there and the seasoning, I like to add just under 2 cups of water to this. And just kind of pour it on the powder. And really just let the powder sit there like that. Seems weird, but that's fine. You're going to be cooking this for hours anyway. So you get there, it's on warm. Now you got the water in. You can go ahead and flip it up to high. And then after that, you just stick the lid on it. And this is days worth of food for, let's see, I got the meat on sale for 10 bucks. The carrots were like $2, the onions were $1, and the potatoes were like $2. So we're looking at, I mean, I don't know, I didn't really add that up because I'm a little smoked up right now. But I mean, you're looking at 15, 20 bucks, you know, depending on your area, and this will feed you for days. Like 3 meals a day. You could probably eat this 3 or 4 meals a day for 2 days. I mean, depending on your appetite. But anyway, so there's that. We'll check back in about an hour. And when I do, I'm going to do a stir in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, nothing really to see there. But in an hour, I'll show you a stir and we'll see how it goes. Talk to you soon. All right, it's been about 40 minutes. I've already stirred it once, just to fold in the seasoning. It is now on low, as it has heated through. You don't want to leave it on high initially really quick, just enough to get everything kind of warmed up quickly. And then switch it over to low, and that's where you'll leave it for 7 or 8 hours. Stir once an hour, and that's pretty much it. Just let it slow cook for a while. And we will check back in like 2 more hours. I'll show you what's going on, because that'll be the next time I stir it. See you then. Alright, 2 hours later. Smells good. Looks pretty good. And the onions will break up as they cook and you stir stuff. Good stir. And what's going to happen is at the end, if the juices haven't thickened to a sauce, all you do is add a little packet of powdered gravy. Because that's nothing but flavored cornstarch for the most part. Just a flavored thickener. So it works just fine on finishing off one of these if ends up with too much moisture at the end. So never leave this cracked. Always let the moisture just stay in there until the end. And then if you need to, you put some gravy in it and let it sit for like another half hour and you're good. But we'll check back later. Talk to you then. Alright, we are a total of just over 4 hours in. And as you can see, as you're cooking, moisture comes out of everything. So you don't really need to add a whole lot of water. That's why I usually start with 2 cups. So we're just going to get in here and mix it up some. My plan is a total cook time of approximately 6 hours. Or, yeah. Actually, probably, 6.5 hours. Oh wow, I am just totally Yeah, sorry. It's a little steamy. So we'll see where this water goes. What I'm going to start doing now, so when I put this on, I'm just going to kind of offset it just a little bit there. You can kind of see it before it spills. Just so that a little bit of air can get in there and help it air out some. But if it is too watery when we're done, we'll add some gravy and we'll be good. So we'll see you again in like an hour and a half. See you. Alright. So we got about a half hour left to go. So we are still pretty watery, which is fine. That's kind of how I like it, because that just gives me a reason to add a little extra flavor. So since we got a sorry, that will happen. Let me turn the fan on. Alright, so since we got a little extra water in there, I mean, for some people that's a good consistency. For me, I'm going to go ahead and add some onion gravy. And like I said, this is basically just starch and flavor. So all you're doing is adding flavored cornstarch, which is a thickener. And you figure when you're making gravy, they always have you add a cup of water. There's probably 2 or 3 cups in here. So this will do well just to thicken things up. Especially once you mix it in there good. And just let it cook for that last half hour. Alright, good. That fan seems to be helping out. As you can see, the potatoes are starting to fall apart, which means we are good to go. Alright, give that a shimmy shimmy. Alright. See you in about a half hour for the finished product. And at this point, just go ahead and put that all the way on. Let that seal back in. So that can cook that gravy and just cook all the flavor and thicken everything up. And we'll be back. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, I just turned it off. Let's see what's up in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now it's got that good sauce. And that doesn't need to be onion gravy. It can be beef gravy if you want to put chicken gravy. Just any kind of powdered gravy, not like a liquid gravy. That will not help your situation. Or just regular cornstarch, you know what I mean? Or get just the perfect amount of water the first time and call it good. But whatever. I actually like adding gravy at the end. So I'm going to get some because I am hungry. Making a mess, as you should. Well, I'm going to start there. Give this a second to cool off. And then we'll do a taste test. One moment, please. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. I kind of cleaned up a little bit. Let's see how it is. Trying this out for the first time. Grab a little bit of everything. Everything is super soft, but not like mashed potato squishy, but like tender, soft. It's good. The meat is great. See, that was about 6 hours of cooking, and then finishing it off with some gravy at the end. It's good stuff. So, if you enjoy or you make something like this or have a variation you'd like me to try, by all means leave a recipe. Like, subscribe, share that good stuff. You know, if you know anybody else that may want to try this. And I'll see you on Cooking with Scruf 3. Oh no, this is 3. Sorry. I also did 2 today, so I'll see you on part 4. We'll see what we do then. Have a good one, y'all. Eat well and be groovy to each other. See ya.